Radio Rahim here with Freddie Roach at the famed Wildcard Boxing Gym, and one of the guys who built this house is back in it. After a brief break, we got Manny back at Manny's house. That's got to be a relief for you, man. Like, can you talk to me about how it came about that you guys decided to start working together again after missing one fight?
You know, the thing is, we hadn't communicated in a long time, and I heard all these rumors about Manny calling me and me calling him, and stuff like that, but we just didn't speak since the Horn fight, and so after the Broner press conference, he called me up and said to meet him at his house at 9:30, and we went. He says, first of all, I say, I'm sorry for not inviting you to the last fight. I said, Manny, that's water under the bridge. I said, that fight, I watched the fight. You did very well. I said, I was very proud of you. It's your first time you knocked somebody out in 6 years, and I love to see that. And I think maybe his killer instinct has maybe opened up a little bit, because I've heard him say, I want to win by knockout in this training camp.
You know, he hasn't been as active, obviously, because he's doing politics at home and he was getting a little older and the fights were spanned further apart. Do you think that has anything to do with how he ended up getting this knockout after, like you say, 6 years? Is it, in other words, is it maybe better for him to fight less frequently?
Yeah, possibly. I mean, the thing is, when he says to me, like, I don't have to hurt my opponent, I just have to beat him, and I truly feel that he was robbed in the Horn fight, and that kind of carried over that maybe you should have knocked him out, and like when you had him in the 9th round or something like that, So, but the thing is, I'm happy he had a knockout, and I'm happy that I hear people tell me that he's saying he wants to win by knockout for this one too, because I love his killer instinct. I love the run that we had back in the day, and the reason we had that run was because he was knocking everybody out. I mean, people love knockouts. It's just, they do. I do too.
What do you think fuels that in him? Obviously, you feel like it's really just the killer instinct that's the difference. What brought it back? How do you keep that fire lit?
You know, I just don't. I don't know where it came from, because again, I don't spend a lot of time with him, just me and him and so forth. And I don't even know where he's at religiously right now. I mean, all I know is that I bought him some. No, I didn't buy him. I'm on a plane with one of the best dart players in the world, and he's talking to me about Manny Pacquiao. And he gives me like a real nice pair of darts, and I said, I'm going to give these to Manny. And 2 years go by, and I finally remember that I had the darts, and I gave them to Manny, and I asked him how the darts are doing, and he says, I won last night. And so he is playing darts again.
He's been firing right-hand bullseyes ever since.
Well, he's winning, so I'm happy about that. And because I know he loves darts and so forth, and they used to play quite a bit, and they used to gamble on him. I'm not sure if they're gambling on it right now. To me, why else would you play darts?
I am sure they're gambling on him now. You, better than anybody, having had so many fighters at so many different stages of their career, know that age is always the third man in the ring with any fighter, even in his 30s, much less Manny just had his 40th birthday. Does that at all inform your approach to this fight? Are you considering age as a factor this time out?
I just needed one day to find that out, and that was the first day I'm back in the gym with him, and age is just a number, and it's just He has not slowed down. His work ethic is great. I mean, everything about him is great. His power is great. He hit me a high shot in the chest the other day. Jeez. I had to turn around and walk away. My whole body went numb, like pins and needles, and I says, I think that's the fucking hardest he ever hit me, I said to myself. I really do. I mean, and like, he's going to want to show you guys that shot today. and I hope it doesn't come true.
Yeah, geez, I guess that killer instinct is dangerous for everybody. Adrien Broner stylistically has been known to like try to mimic Floyd, and at 147 pounds, there's some question as to how much power he has up here. So what do you think really is the most dangerous aspect of this fight for Manny? Is it style? Is it speed? Does Adrien have a lot of pop? What do you feel Manny has to overcome for this fight?
I think he has a lot of pop. He does have a good right hand, and he has some power with it. And but I don't think he has the speed or the power Manny has. And the thing is, he fights off the back foot quite a bit, and he leans back. And I mean, when you lean back, there's only one way to come. It's back the other way. And I've been working on Manny holding his ground and catching him coming into him. And so I've been working on the correct counter, and that's why I feel Manny will win this fight by knockout. He's making the moves he needs to make. He's got the footwork down with fighting the southpaw and the righty and all that. There's always a science to that also. And I said to him, I said, Manny, I says, this guy, I just watched like his last 4 fights on tape. He's not going to come at you. I says he's going to wait and try to be a counterpuncher, and how you kill a counterpuncher is with feints, head movement, speed. So Manny has all that. So I don't see Broner being a problem, but just maybe a fugitive, right?
Well, speaking of such, like everybody knows, boxing is quite a bit mental. You've had your problems with Manny being focused, having distractions. Where do you train? How much can you get out of him in a day? And Adrien Broner's problems have been written about and prevalent for years. What do you think about Broner's potential? Has he ever actually reached the potential that he has as a fighter? And is focus a factor? Is this something that you can use to your advantage in this fight?
Yeah. When I was in Cincinnati, Ohio, and I had one of my boys from Scotland on the show, and Broner was on the show, I saw Broner fight for the first time there, and he was like a very, very talented young man with a bright future. And then when he fell in love with Mayweather and wanted to be Mayweather and just like emulated him so much, his whole career I think went the other way, because you can't be somebody else in life. It's just like, I'd like to be like him, yes, but the thing is, I mean, he wants to be him, actually. I mean, when it comes down to it, I mean, from buying the cars to how many kids you can have. I mean, the numbers are crazy, but the thing is, I don't think at this point in his career he reached the potential he could have.
Last time I was down here, we had a giant in this ring. You were in the corner for Tyson Fury, obviously, and Wilder, which ended up being like the last best fight of 2019 by my estimation. Have you spoken to Tyson since the fight? Are you intending on being in the camp for what we assume will be a rematch at some point?
Well, nothing's really been decided yet, but he has called me a couple of times, and he said, Freddie, if the rematch happens, can I train in your gym? I said, of course you can. He said, oh, great. He says, then we talk. I called his trainer, and he says, there's been a lot of people talking about what we said about each other and so forth. And I says, he said, well, Freddie, he says, I'll never say nothing bad about you, because all I can do is learn off you. He says, and that's what I want to do. And I said, okay. He asked me if he wanted to training camp here, and I said, I'll see you when he comes. And I will help him as much as I can. I mean, I'm not going to be the head trainer for sure. He's already has that job. He's done a good job with it. And I believe in a little bit more offense than maybe most. And I think he could have been more offensive in that fight, and I feel that he could have won by knockout. Because he does have a lot of power that he doesn't always show, but he does have power. He does. I've felt it. Yeah, no, he's solid.
A lot of people thought Wilder lost the fight on the cards, but that knockout in the 12th, or knockdown in the 12th round, which everyone assumed was a knockout when Tyson hit the canvas, was so tremendous. What did we learn about Deontay Wilder that night? Is he a better fighter than you thought? Not as good? Can he reign as heavyweight champion?
Well, you know, he caught my guy with 2 good shots. I think the left hook knocked him out, and the right hook woke him up. But yeah, the referee's counting. I'm not sure. You know, I said, I wonder. I'm not sure if he's going to get up. You know, but then he gets up, and his balance was good. His equilibrium was. I mean, he knew exactly where he was, and he won the rest of the round. Honestly, it was a great thing that because I said to somebody that day, and maybe Manny would like this more than anybody. I says, Freddie, how do you think you get up from there, those 2 punches? I said, well, maybe there is a God.
I think that's the first time I maybe ever heard you say that. Tyson Fury has brought the spirit of God into Freddie Roach's life. Lastly, Freddie, I was just talking to a guy before we started this interview and realized I've been in this gym since I was 19. Essentially, my whole adult life has been in these walls, and you've not slowed down a bit in that whole time. The passion's always been there. But how long do you continue to do this at this pace? Like you talk about Manny hitting you in the chest with that shot. I saw you do a mitts with Tyson. I was like, this is when is it gonna be time to hand those mitts over and maybe just manage the gym?
I'm not sure. I mean, as you can see my chalkboard over there, those are my fighters. This month I have 3 world title fights.
And there's about 25 fighters on that chalkboard, by the way.
Yeah, and I have on the 9th I have Machado defend his title. I got Azad on the show. On the 10th, the next day, I have my Zepeda fighting Jose Ramirez, my ex-fighter. I can't wait for that one to happen. I love what I do, and I'm not going anywhere soon.
Well, that's excellent news. I was hoping you would say, because we miss you terribly. Freddie Roach, is always a pleasure, man. Love to talk to you. Been doing it my whole adult life, so here we keep going with the chalkboard. We got Pacquiao showing up soon. Can't wait for this fight on Saturday. Adrien Broner versus Manny Pacquiao. Radio Rahim here at Wildcard with Freddie Roach.